I remember going to the gym at around 6 in the morning, arriving in the morning, showering, and being there by 8, even at noon. Many of my friends still ask me, how do you do it? If you are a young entrepreneur, a new businessman, it doesn't help you much. I grew up in Mykonos, politically, in bigger individual circles. Do you have a competitor now? When the building I want becomes available, a supermarket or chain could easily take it without much impact to them. I mean, 5,000 or 6,000 euros a month, but for me, those 5,000 or 6,000 euros a month, especially as an initial investment. And when you start out, having such a fixed cost on your back is a lot. Anytime, anyone. So I started off in debt, down 180,000 euros right from the very beginning. Sure, you sell more, but you also have more expenses in everything else. You have more rent, you have higher electricity bills, you have higher water bills. Do you need to hire more staff? You rent houses for your staff, which you don't have to do. I pay for houses. Nearly 20,000 euros a year just for staff housing for 3 businesses. Imagine if all that was profit, added up, and all fixed costs rise. Someone once asked if he'd die an Australian. There are many properties. He'd call it a moving scene. Things are much better now. It was a different time back then. I stayed, maybe 20, I'm not sure. When I was younger, something happened every day at a shop, at the beach. There was always something going on. I've seen people put on a cast, their hand in a cast, and still go and play bowls with the cast on.
Welcome to FtaklakisTalks. In today's episode, I have with me Orfeas Grymplas. Orfeas is a coach. He graduated from TEFA, Komotini, TEFA. And he has 2 gyms in Mykonos.
Both of them are in Mykonos. One is a fitness studio, the other is an open gym. Yes.
And you also have 2 other businesses that are not related to fitness.
They relate to food. Do they connect to fitness too? There's also nutrition.
Yes.
One is nutrition based, and it's a bit about looking healthy and being healthy. And it's a bit for us who are more into the gym and protein. That's the focus there. The other one is a Greek restaurant, more traditional, I would say, all in Mykonos.
These are mainly about entrepreneurship.
Of course, of course, of course.
First of all, Orfeas, for those who don't know you, I want you to say a few words about yourself.
Of course, that's right.
A summary, and then we'll start the story.
Look, the fitness part started very early in my life. I played basketball, taekwondo. I went through all of them, so when it was time to decide what I wanted to do, I went straight for it. And that I wanted to become a coach, to follow basketball, which is more youthful and more romantic and so on. I went to Komotini just like you in '09. I think for sure I had some of the best years of my life, and I was a student. Back then things were a bit better, and so was the Greek economy, not like the first 2 years. Especially when I was there every day from Monday to Sunday, all the places were packed. Morning, night, you went out at night. I went out at night. It was impossible not to go out. I mean, when I got there, it was impossible not to go out while they were playing basketball. I mean, in Gus's team back then, workouts here and there, but it was impossible not to go out. Everyone was out.
What did it have back then? The lobby?
It had the lobby, Icodromio, and Theatro in their prime. Back then, those were the first 3 years. After that, things started to change a bit. We had some basics. I was also working at night then, like an extra job. And now from the second, third year, it was definitely helpful financially and things like that, but it was also helpful in general. Komotini and its lifestyle back then. How many women were at the universities when you worked nights here and there? I had a great time and made good friends. And the school at the university had, let's say, a very nice program. I still have professors I keep in touch with, like Hatzinicolaou or Fatouros, who has now gone to Trikala. So many experiences and situations. Imagine, when I went there, just imagine, I had chosen Komotini. I mean, I had put Komotini as my first choice. No, I wouldn't have gone to Thessaloniki, that's where I was.
But I've seen in other places that you have to go from there, to go to Sparta.
No, it was very convenient. I also had a car from relatively early on. It was really convenient since everything was in one place, like at the old Tefaga, which was our organ. Was that the same time?
I say when
I've got it. I've picked it up too now.
Metallurgy?
Metallurgiki?
Well done then. I want us to start from the beginning.
Noita, I want you to tell me
Let's talk a bit about your childhood.
your childhood years.
How was it in general and where were you born?
I was born in Athens because obviously we don't have a hospital in Mykonos that could handle a birth. Here in Athens, in Marousi. My father's family is from Mykonos, where I grew up. My mother's side gave me a different background. For Andro, everything is from Athens. I grew up in Athens, I would say, my childhood years. generally in Mykonos, which even back then was always a tourist area. So I will definitely have summer in my mind, a bit more of the beach and so on. I think I had a good childhood in a nice environment. I didn't miss anything. I didn't grow up in a family that, let me tell you, had a big fortune in Mykonos, which you might find in some well-known families. But at the same time, I didn't lack anything either. Both of my parents were British.
You were always there in the summer?
I mean, now I'm 34, 35. I've spent 34 summers there. Well, it's logical, yes, but I think I grew up in a good environment. I didn't miss anything, both in terms of friends and family. Do you want?
Do you want us to bring Michalis Milonakis for a minute?
And for how long? How much longer? Yes.
Because he connected us and also sponsored the whole episode with Gear Up.
Great, and I have a very good collaboration with Mykonos, whom I met completely by chance. I mean, when I was about to open the gym. At first, I talked to a friend of mine and he told me about Gear Up. That was even earlier. I mean, it was about 4 or 5 years ago. It hadn't really taken off in that field yet. The equipment was still, you know, a bit more for CrossFit and cross-training. We were somewhat acquainted. And now in the last 2 years, because things went well, we got closer again. In general, I consider Michalis an amazing entrepreneur and a great friend and person, and he has done incredible things with Gear Up. If you think about how he started with just a simple gym, and now he has reached the point where he owns a company that equips so many other gyms. Everywhere, I mean everywhere. And as we've also established a great collaboration now, I've even put sponsored by Gear Up on the gym sign, like the gym is sponsored by Gear Up, but he has helped me a lot. Besides being a partner, I now see him as a very good friend, all right?
We'll get back to the topic later.
Of course.
Can you tell me about your business and how you started?
Yes. So a little bit of the story.
So, we had left it at, okay, you were in Mykonos. Did you live there most of the time? You were there during the summer. If you don't mind me asking, did your parents always have a business? Do they have one now, or?
My mother has been involved and has had the restaurant since 2004. The Greek restaurant we have is a family business that's located in the town of Mykonos. My parents have been divorced since I was 17 years old. It was a mild divorce, I would say, complete. I didn't have any issues. Do you talk to your father? Yes, I do. They're both in Mykonos right now. And, well, my father is between Athens and Mykonos. My father is an English teacher. He left it along the way. Now he's close to retirement. He's around 65. He's not from here. Business-wise, yes, my mother was a manager at big hotels for years until she started her own business. Yes, that's actually how she met my father. He came down for work.
Like a restaurant? How is it? Are there customers?
In general, the restaurant as a business, I think it's one of the most difficult businesses to run because it has a lot of responsibilities, a lot of daily problems. There are orders, there is staff, especially now. With the way the system is, the financial or banking system they've set up now with the cards. And yes, these things bring me trouble. It's an endless mess. Unfortunately, instead of simplifying things for everyone, everything is becoming more complicated. Vlokas, yes, well, okay, but obviously I'm not complaining.
You're going to keep it. It's not like you're going to leave it, right?
No, look, for me...
Why you?
I really like food, I like to eat well, and I also have a passion for it, and I love giving food. I mean, I also really like the shop. The last thing I did, which I told you is a bit more healthy and fitness influenced, I did it because I wanted a place to go and eat a bit cleaner. Yeah, and a bit the way I want it. There isn't that there isn't, maybe there's one along with mine too, and one of them is just a bit, which I would say is a bit more vanilla, it's a bit more vegan, you know, it's a bit more female oriented. Aren't we going every day? Yeah.
But for sure. And it has full junk food in the restaurants.
That are full. It has a lot of junk food like souvlaki and so on. And now bigger chains are starting too. And they're coming, you know, you might find, I hear different things, but for food, you'll definitely find big, even more expensive restaurants. Zuma, which is like a brand name, not to mention even bigger ones. Scorpios, you know, you get it. It's a bit like that. Mykonos is an international Greek destination. Now the amounts are huge and the flows are massive.
I want to ask you now, so I don't forget the questions. Where do you see Mykonos in general? Yes, all these years, do you think it has changed? Has it evolved? Has it grown? More people? Has it evolved?
Definitely a lot. It has grown. It has grown. In terms of beds, for example, 10 years ago, do we know how many there were? I'll just say a random number because I don't remember exactly. Suppose it started with 100,000 beds and has 200,000 after 10 years. Which means that it's a lot. There are many more hotels, many more villas, and the flows from the airports are much higher. Simply. Also, what has changed a bit is that I think the surrounding islands have also grown quite a lot. So now, sorry, Mykonos, as Mykonos, because it also has the big airport, also brings people in through it, you know? So they split it up a bit. We go here, and we also go to some other island.
I've also worked with another guy who's in Mykonos, Manos boss when he was there. And he also mentioned to me that basically in the past it really was rich people who used to come, let's say. I don't remember exactly how he put it. And now people come who are just trying to act like, let's say, we came to Mykonos.
I'll tell you, the truth is somewhere in the middle. Yes, some romantics, and I would say mostly Greeks, wealthy Greeks who had their own houses and made it feel a bit more homely. And that we go to Mykonos and it's not so open, not everyone could go anymore. Greeks might view it somewhat negatively, but having so much business from everywhere is significant. And it's not just rich Greeks anymore, now there are many, many more rich people who aren't Greek. And Mykonos has definitely lost its Greek character, a lot, don't you think? It's become more of an idea. It was hard. Can you find Greek venues? Will they play Greek music? There were places 5 or 10 years ago that we used to go to and they were packed and played Greek music like 4711. Back then, at its peak, you know? Now everything is focused on an international audience. I wouldn't say rich people don't come anymore. Actually, more do now. They just might not stay as long as before. Because now they say, I'll come to Mykonos for 4 or 5 days, I'll party, I'll live a more extravagant life, and then, for example, I'll go to Antiparos. Another 3 days to chill, I'll take my boat to Tinos. It's the same in Santorini, to do some island hopping.
Yes.
But definitely in terms of turnover, amounts, and the flow of people, it's increased a lot. You can't compare it now. Some people like it, some don't. Now, it has its negatives, it has its positives. You've known it for so many years. I've seen the whole thing from the beginning. I'll tell you that there are some things I like and some things I don't like. But with the same logic, I have my routine. It's my home now, and I know how to move around in it. I could spend a week just relaxing, not minding going out or being around a lot of people. But in Mykonos, you have to be like that. The island's life and atmosphere make you.
I have lots of questions about how things are now, but let's finish the beginning first. Let's go.
Let's take it step by step. So,
I want you to tell me now, when did you start with sports? In general, as a child, did you play at all?
yeah, I played. I started with basketball. I always liked Mykonos basketball. I remember I had an experience with my father who took me to SEF for the first time. It doesn't matter, I'm an Olympiacos fan and all that. How tall are you? 1.93? Okay, obviously. Growing up in Mykonos, we didn't have dreams, we didn't have facilities. Now there's an indoor court. I started playing basketball outdoors. I've never played indoors as a kid. The first time I played and practiced in an indoor court was with the mixed teams we played on, in Kyklado and in Komotini. When I went for the first time, imagine, I went to Komotini. At 17 and a half, I started practicing daily with Gassos on an indoor court for the first time. Well, obviously, I didn't really stick with it. Life in Komotini didn't help as much as it should have. It's hard to focus now on something like that. I definitely don't regret it. Sports aren't easy, and I really admire a lot of kids who have reached a high level. It's not easy. You have to make big sacrifices to do it.
I think being a student isn't compatible with pursuing your dreams, so you give it up.
Yeah, look, it's a matter of the person, but definitely with the experiences I had back then in Komotini and the whole environment, it was very difficult. Surely I would have had to give up a lot of things, but I don't regret it. No, I don't regret it. And when I tell you that I had a really good life, that's not it. I mean, in Komotini, it must have been really, really nice. So I was into sports since I was 5 or 6. I started with track, and then I also did taekwondo at the same time in Mykonos. I wouldn't say the level was that high, as you can imagine. In a provincial area, why Mykonos? In the winter, Mykonos is like the countryside. So there were 5,000, 10,000 people. It was nothing. But I always liked them. I'll tell you, I always studied. Always into fitness, let's say, to go to the gym with a purpose and focus. I got into the university there when I was 18. Did you want to improve? Yes, I saw a bit. Maybe I don't remember. I saw my fellow students. I saw the sports I saw. And now I say, okay, you were a kid who played basketball, did this, did that. Now you have to. The truth is I was very focused from the start. Back then, I weighed just 85 kilos, much thinner due to basketball and other activities. And I said that now I will start, but I will start properly. And I remember that from the first day I started going to the gym, I haven't stopped since. I've only had injuries and surgeries, 2 serious ones on my shoulder, the last one more recently. Other than that, I haven't done anything else. But apart from some injuries that forced me to stop, I haven't stopped. When? You definitely had an athletic body, I mean with abs. Look, when I was young, like until I was 17, I would tell you I was a very average kid with big feet and so on. But I didn't have any definition. I might have even been a bit overweight, like a chubby kid, yeah, kind of. I always remember my legs being fit, but I never had an upper body, like upper body, nothing. Why? Do you have a full one now? Now I have a full one? Back then I had nothing, but I lost a lot and stayed that way. I wanted to be fit. I was at 85. And when I started going to the gym, over 5 years, I remember myself. It was like the first year I was 85, then 90. I started in the summer, of 2010. In September, I went to the gym. In 2011, in the summer, I was 90 kilos. The next year, 95. The next year, 100, and now I'm around 105 many years, I believe, they believe. Are those kilos okay for your height? Well, for sure. Look, the ideal weight for me, they say, is around 102, 103 kilos, because I think it's easier to handle daily life after 105. The truth is that I don't have that kind of stamina. I feel athletic. I mean, I run, I do sprints, I still play basketball with my friends, I do things like that. I do boxing, I do these kinds of activities, full on activities, full on. If you see me running, you won't think I'm 1,008 kilos. You'll just see me running. I'm used to it. Yeah, I did training, a bit of CrossFit and so on. But I really strained myself with those. And your shoulders? How did you hurt them? My shoulders? I hurt them in some fights, in some fights. Me, I was expecting this since I took him out of the game. Now it's really awkward. Not that it wasn't my fault too. Well, generally I didn't get into fights easily. I was working in a shop, at the reception, at the doors and so on. It was really tough to fight, to get into fights. I'm not that kind of person. It happened with a large group and things got out of hand. I remember I threw a punch in the air and my shoulder popped out like that. It was the first time it had come out that badly for me. Yeah. Okay, I'm telling you, it's just the heat of the moment. So, after that, did it come out from both? No, just the right one, and then it slipped. Did the left one come out too? The left one? Did you put it back in after a fall? Ah, okay, that's it, right? That's the most recent one, but I left it because, I have a pretty high pain tolerance in general. Sometimes while playing basketball, I'd put it back in, it'd come out again, I'd put it back in again, and keep going. I reached a point where you don't even notice putting it back in. It was hard to put back in because it's big and Misty's was holding it. Honestly, it was a bit difficult. But I reached a point where it would come out very easily and I shouldn't have to operate on it. I had surgery on it once, it didn't go so well. Since returning, I've played basketball again and joined the team in A1, the National League, Mykonos. I dislocated it again during a practice and again another surgery. Second in a row at a really good center, Giannakopoulos. I can't help but mention him because he really helped me a lot. They recommended him, highly recommended. I had an incredible surgery and they took a graft from my hip. The surgery lasted 4.5 hours. The anesthesiologist said he hasn't used that much anesthesia even on a horse. That day I was in terrible pain. The first 2 days were very difficult, but it got better. It will never be 100%. I don't have full mobility. I mean, my hand doesn't go all the way. But I didn't have those daily problems I used to have before. Anyway, those were weak spots. Your shoulders were, but it's also my fault. Because obviously when we didn't know, I would go to the gym and do 140 kilos presses. Yes, the bench plays a role. The bench really matters. The bench really matters for me. It needs, because I tell this to the newbies, young guys. Why didn't anyone tell me back then? I believe it needs balance. Definitely in everything you do. And when you bench 140 kilos, you should also work your back and do the equivalent work for your back. So there weren't even the resistance bands we use now for warm-ups, none of that. I really remember that when I dislocated my shoulder, exactly the day before, I had benched 140 kilos. With a friend of mine like that, I had benched 140 kilos and did 4 or 5 reps before I dislocated it. Did it ever pull? Are you sure you saw it? Is that so? Okay. It's a lot. I'm quite heavy. I am. Kilos even now. I mean, can I do it? Now? If I try at the gym, can I do it? I never put that much on anymore. I don't do anything. There's no reason to risk it. I'm not a lifter, nothing like that. It's better to go a little lighter and say I'm okay rather than brag now that I did 145. Now it was just the two of us, Vagelis, Ignastirio, and you, my friend, so there's no reason. I know Tsunos, and I know. And from Komotini, when he was in Zarni back in the day, and from Mykonos, where he does security and many other jobs. Tsunos is a beast, Tsunos is scary, but if you see him up close, he's not scary. It's all about his appearance, the whole presence, it's just for show. I remember, yes, it's his appearance, interview him. I'm telling you, he was scary. Yes, imagine me in 2009 or 2010 when I saw him back then, just leave it. And his hand was huge, and even his hand would leave. That was unbelievable. Was he that big and also agile for his weight? Yes, it was difficult. So impressive.
Orfeas, first I want you to tell me what we've said so far about sports, about basketball.
Did you say you started going to the gym?
When you were at DEFA?
Yes, there when I was 18, yes I was.
You finished DEFA, and I want you to tell me what you were thinking then, what you wanted to do. Are you thinking of going to Mykonos, thinking of doing a master's degree, going abroad?
Look, Mykonos, it was definitely on my mind because I'm from there too. I also did some other programs, postgraduate ones at private schools in Greece with NASEM, National Association of Post Medicine. If you know it, I've done that too. I was among them. Not one of the very first, of course, but among the first in Greece with 2 or 3 other guys to do the NASEM protocols in Greece with Yannis Pina.
Did those help you extra?
They helped me a lot to see the way they work and how they work. I saw a little bit of that in America and the program they have to help a trainee get started and progress step by step. I liked the format since we didn't do these things at school. It was more theoretical, too much theory. Obviously, you want to have a good foundation in physiology and anatomy, but I think there's still a gap in the curriculum, in the practical part, and in how it helps you a bit too. In a philosophy of how we start 2 or 3 things, not just the theory and knowing anatomy, although you do need to know our anatomy and physiology to be well-rounded and to be... You have to learn it yourself. It only helps you get into a certain mindset and build from there. And how do they see it? Like in America, you know, fitness is a bit more advanced, especially back when you were doing it, much more advanced, way ahead. And it's also the way they see it. In Greece, it was completely different. Do 5 sets, do 10 reps, not even a proper assessment beforehand. I mean, the person, like we say, the FMS, for example, which was the functional movement screen, now it's famous. To have a trainee go through 2 or 3 exercises to see how their body works, what muscular and musculoskeletal problems they have in their posture, so you can start to create a program.
Do you want to talk about this? From what I understood, when I asked, you didn't have a specific goal like, I'm graduating and doing this?
Look, I was working as a personal trainer even before I finished. Yes, I mean, in Mykonos, I had my car, I had my equipment. I was going to collaborate with a close friend who hadn't opened their gym yet. And I also did house calls, which I was still doing. I mean, I worked with hotels, with villas, so I was set up during COVID, for example. Okay, which I did much later, but when I got out, I definitely aimed to continue. I didn't plan to do anything else. I also worked nights for a while, especially in the summers. Paradelemios Mykonos was younger then, and the pay was good. When you started freelancing as a personal trainer at a younger age, didn't you feel insecure about earning enough daily or monthly? I said I wasn't. That I didn't have anything stable like passive income, to have a house or something to get rent from or something like that, which in Mykonos would be very important, very helpful.
You know why I said that? I see a lot of my classmates, and I'm sure you do too, who might not know exactly what to do, and that's normal.
I think it's very normal, isn't it?
You know what you'll do next? You might end up doing something completely different.
Look, now it has compared to when I finished, and I also believe that in general the job of teacher, call it what you want, a gym instructor, a personal trainer, has become much more popular. Let me put it this way, it has grown a lot. I mean, I think now what is the minimum score for Komotini? When I went, it was 13,000 points, something like that. That's about when I went to Komotini too. Yeah, I think it was a bit higher. It went up a little. Yeah, for sure. There's more demand now, but definitely when I went, I think it was a bit higher. It went up a little, let's say. Yeah. For sure, there's more demand now, but definitely you start them too. And full competition, and full competition. Now you post a job opening from a top gym and they'll send me 30 resumes right away. If you post it as a job opening, isn't that right? One. Now, if I post that I'm looking for a waiter, I'll get 2 responses. But if I post that I'm looking for a gym trainer, half of Greece will send me resumes. Yes, 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 everyone, especially if they hear Mykonos and so on, for sure. It's one, it's one, it's one. Additionally, how should I put it? It's a goal. Especially, okay, Mykonos as a destination and as a resume, why? Okay, there are also different prices in Mykonos in general. I'm not talking about personal training. That, especially in the summer, you can charge higher prices, which are now international. You wouldn't go too crazy with the pricing, but it's higher. It's more than 40, 50, 60 euros per hour. I'm not talking about locals, but about visiting foreigners. For instance, you won't see amounts like 100, 120, or 150 euros. Did we ever see those averages in Athens? Not at all. These prices are found throughout Western Europe, Northern Europe, and America. But I think we're behind. And that Greeks, as a nation, haven't learned to pay enough for this service. They kind of undervalue it. Now, I think that fitness and exercise in general are starting to gain a bit more value in their eyes. And I see that too. What's happening with biohacking and wellness has taken off globally and will keep growing.
Social media helped a lot with that.
In that area. Definitely a bit of Mykonos, Athens, and a bit abroad. Nightlife or personal?
Nightlife or personal?
Both. I do both during a certain period. I remember myself going, working until 6 or 7 in the morning, going to take a shower, and then being at the gym by 8, and I would sleep in the afternoon. Many of my friends still ask me, how do you do it?
I want to ask you, why did you work? When you were a student, since you could get by with your parents' money.
Well, look, like I told you, I grew up, I didn't miss anything, but my parents were never the type. I can't tell you that they would say, here, take this much. We don't have that kind of thing. I had a specific budget, it was my rent, and they gave me a set allowance. Later, as the years went by and there was a bit of a crisis and all that, the reason and the way I saw it was that I had to help out. Did you experience the situation? You went in '09, I went in 11, so '09 was it a good crisis? It hit in 11, so you lived through it? Yes, I lived through it, okay? Obviously, I didn't experience it as badly as others, much better. It's just that in the family, you could say there was some need. I've been working since I was 16, 15 years old, working in my family's businesses and so on with friends. I liked making my own money. So I just couldn't hold on to it. The truth is, at that age, I didn't have any of that, not even a business plan or anything. 40, 50 would come in Komotini. Now, if you ask me, I remember there was a time I was working every day. Back then, we were making 40, 50 euros. I asked myself where it all went, even my pocket money, and I still had nothing left. Don't ask where I spent it. I don't remember. All right, did they live it? They lived it, yes. So, in the summer, whatever little money I managed to save, how long would it last? 1, 2 months? In the winter, in Komotini? I liked traveling since I was young. From the age of 18 when I started. The first money I got, I went on a trip. And I believe that traveling in general helped me. And I think it helps everyone. It's helpful. For me, traveling is like a second university. Going to new destinations, meeting new people. For me, the best thing you can invest your money in is a trip. So what kind of trip is this? Everyone has their own preferences. Now, I imagine most of my trips I congratulate myself with fitness. But yes, I think that traveling helped me a lot. In general, to see new arrangements, to see new things, to get ideas both for the gym and for restaurants in general. I think these are what I have missed the most, more than anything else.
It's also like that for you. That you'll go on a trip and you'll see things.
At first, I didn't see it with a professional perspective. I definitely saw it from a personal perspective.
Did you see things you hadn't seen before?
Yes, definitely. I used to travel to Asia when I was younger and had a tighter budget. Vietnam, I had Greece at first, and America was always a destination for me, to be honest, like the big dream. But for some reason, because I had the means, I had it in my mind that when I go to America, I want to go and be comfortable, to be somewhere established, so I wouldn't miss anything. I didn't want to go now and have to count every little thing to worry about this or that. I wanted to be a bit more financially comfortable, and I managed to do that to some extent, and I'm happy about it. But yeah, if you ask me now, I'll definitely tell you yes. I had a goal. I really liked traveling, and my goal was to make it more organized, to be able to do it, which I still have. Okay, I'm 34, 35 now. I don't think I've seen enough. No one told me at this age that I've seen enough. I think these things helped me a lot, but to tell you that I had a specific goal when I graduated from university, not really. And generally after that, no, not really. Until I was 29, 30, I was searching. I think the quarantine helped me.
Can you be a bit more?
Along with the where, because I was in a very fast pace. Because when you're a student now, Komotini, Summers, Mykonos, where the pace is always at full speed,
You don't have time to think.
yeah, then I'd say the poor winter had us working here and there again. All the years from 20 to 30 were good. I have nothing bad to say about them. And my outings, my workouts, my food, my travels, I didn't miss anything. And my relationships, did you understand how important all that was? But when I said it can't go on like this any longer, at this pace, I have to get organized somehow, do something. It was during the quarantine that I relaxed, I calmed down, and I saw that I think quarantine helped a lot of people in that aspect, but not everyone. But for me, it helped me slow down to think, to not be that person. Then going all the way to Mykonos, Athens, a bit abroad, the trips, and I said to myself, look, what do you want to do? And that's when the idea came to me. I started looking at places for the gym.
Until 2020, you didn't have any business?
No, I was working on my own. I was working on my own as a personal trainer and with groups. In Mykonos and Athens, did you work at the restaurant more part-time? I think it's a bit difficult both being in management and then working with your family, because I'm generally very independent and I didn't want to, not that I had conflicts or big problems and so on, just etc.
You didn't like it?
I didn't like it. Well, it was also an age thing, I was 20, 30, I kind of wanted to be there, I liked it. I was my own master from a young age, let's say, as far back as I can remember myself, from 25. I don't answer to anyone, have to save anyone, or have an employer. I've collaborated and worked with big brands, etc. And another part is what I'm doing now with event management and so on. But as my main job, I've been a freelancer since I was 25. So when you get into that kind of mindset, it's hard to go back, at least in my mind. At least I'll fit into a mold and work an 8-hour shift. The 8 to 4, as we say, or the 9 to 5. I like taking a bit of a risk, that I get to set my own schedule. Some months it might not work out, some months it might, but so far it had worked, but until 2020 I didn't have it. My own business, apart from my personal one, I didn't have. You start thinking, yeah, I mean, I had a long relationship back then when I was in my early 20s, almost 5 years, which ended there. And at some point the quarantine came, and after that I calmed down a bit.
When relationships, especially long ones, end, they're truly over.
They definitely bring you down.
And you want to improve yourself.
Definitely after the skill. In Athens, as this period goes by now, it's the first time that you you start looking for things a bit. It definitely helped me personally to have an extra motivation. I had gone on a big trip back then, a nice trip to a long beach, and as soon as I came back, boom, COVID, I was here, Athens. Luckily, I left early because you see this situation in Athens and in those big cities. It was tragic, a lot of control, and don't you remember how it was back then? For us, I was in Rhodos, so you understand that you're definitely better off on an island. And I went straight to Mykonos too, and it was fine, just 10 police officers. The winter escape was a first. How many people were there? Was it really better, and did you enjoy it more? It was good and relaxing. Mykonos was new to me, and now it's empty. I used to go to the beaches now, on the sand where everything was happening. If you go now in June or July, you won't even be able to walk. I used to go to the sunbeds, but at the same time I was working full-time because the gyms were closed, so I had set up a kind of mobile gym. I'd load the stuff and equipment into the car at the football field, the villas, or wherever, and then be busy all morning.
Wait, let me get this straight. You had saved up a budget and you started...
Since I did personal training at clients' homes, I needed to bring equipment.
Had you already bought good equipment?
Yes, so for sure every year I was adding more.
Did you have a good foundation, let's say?
Well, I was losing a backpack. Some other villas might have had a gym, some others didn't. I had a backpack that definitely had resistance bands, TRX, balls, a Bosu. I also had 3 or 4 pairs of dumbbells, maybe a kettlebell, and it depended on the training of the clients or the group. You know, my mats, I would lay them out.
You didn't set up a studio with a leg press, did you?
No, nothing like that. I was working in collaboration with the gym in Mykonos, where I worked as an independent contractor. Some personal training sessions were held there, and everything else was outside. When lockdown began and gyms closed, everything moved outside. So we went to the field and the cove in Mykonos. Back then, we had bigger groups. I did boxing and outdoor coverage. It wasn't just outdoor workouts. I turned it into a boot camp with mats and other features, which everyone really enjoyed. Yeah, back then I might have been even busier than other years, you know, because we didn't have any other option. From 8:30 or 9 in the morning until 2 or 3, I was slammed, then stopped on my own. How many lessons could I have done? 6 back to back. Maybe there were groups, maybe 5 or 6, you know, so I was doing 5 or 6 hours every day.
Did you call it boot camp? I thought you gathered about 20 people. I'm not sure.
There have been many times when I did. I mean, during the quarantine, I even went back to old videos and stuff, so I definitely had work. Those things are nice, I still like them, but back then, imagine, like, everyone was into it, everyone liked music, it was cool, fun, so I also had a financial benefit from it. Yeah, it went really well. After that, I started too. When things started to open up a bit slowly the next year, I started looking at venues, thinking about it more, telling myself, okay, it's time to do it, to take the risk. One good thing about me is that I don't get stressed easily, and I generally don't take things too hard. And that helped me in entrepreneurship, that attitude of let's go, I have nothing to lose, let's try, and if it works out, great. It's not like I had a big budget saved up, to be honest, or a lot of help. I could have had more support from my family and so on. My mother helped me a bit at the beginning. We're discussing amounts now, but back then the small income I made from the gym has grown, though I won't say exactly how much. Well, I started off in debt, 180 grand right from the start, 180 grand. I started with debt because of construction, equipment, all those things I didn't have. 30,000. 30,000 I went in, I got the building, which was in terrible condition. I found it by chance because I had been searching for a long time and you couldn't find anything. And generally it's all about timing. It's very difficult to find spaces.
And the rent will be high.
Did you catch the reaction on camera? The rents are definitely much higher compared to the rest of Greece. Definitely. And with the way entrepreneurship is now, if you're a small or new entrepreneur, it doesn't help you politically or in terms of stability, especially if you have competition. Brand now. Now, someone else might take the building I want. A supermarket, mini market, or chain that can easily afford it. 5 or 6,000 euros a month, but for me, that amount, especially as an initial investment, is a lot. And when you're starting out, having such a fixed cost on your back is too much. I said, whatever. So I started with that and said, let's go.
Prices. But over there, where you are, they're different.
Sure, you sell more, but you also have more expenses in everything else. You have higher rent, higher electricity, higher water bills. Do you pay your staff more? You pay for housing for your staff, which you don't have. You don't have. In Athens, you have an expense where I spend about 20,000 euros a year just on staff housing for 3 businesses. Imagine if I add more, these are selective, add, so all the fixed costs go up. Obviously everything happened over time. The first year I tried to combine things a bit because I was also doing group classes at the gym and trying to run the open gym as well. And the space the space was 250 square meters in total, including the outdoor area. Year by year, I tried to add things to improve it. I wish I had a budget for 500 square meters from the start to set up the gym right away, all at once, top notch. I couldn't and I didn't know. And you know, at first with a limited budget, just to see how it would go. I saw what people wanted. I don't think that in the second or third year. In the third year, I decided that I found a good opportunity to move this whole group section into one space. That's when Ataki and Swari joined us, and Mihalis, who did the sweat with us. I decided to keep the entire gym open and stay at the sweat.
The sweat that...
Did we do it last year?
Last year it has.
Last summer, we set it up this year. But it's the first summer that it will work from the beginning, now that it's found its course.
I believe it still does. And Athens.
It's in Grymplas, up on Nordson, across from there. I made a really nice place there. Maybe I'll do a second one. What? You're laughing?
Isn't it Pilates?
He made a Pilates studio across from Nordson. It's separate. And he moved it from inside where he had the suite. He took it to the space across.
Sweat is basically group training.
The sweat is only group. The sweat is a form of high intensity training, which has, it's divided into stations. The first group does running on a treadmill, whether it's incline or at different slopes, whether it's interval or progressive, etc. And the second group does exercises on the floor with weights. You use dumbbells. There's step and some pulleys, which is very interesting and very nice and easy. For someone who wants to spend 50 minutes, do a HIIT class and have a good time, the music is the whole vibe. It's really nice because when I didn't like it, I used to go to Paris's boot camp for years. That's why I liked it a lot as a project. We had talked about it before he did it, imagine.
But I think the equipment is exactly that.
It's because she has to start now with at least 6 or 7 treadmills, which is possible. He contributed. Now I have a system, because now it's like a club inside. It's like a club. It's not like I just put up 3 lights and added a dimmer and that's it. It needs more. It has.
It has to match with the music?
Yes, it does. It does. It has passion. And the expenses aren't easy, but the corridors would tell you more about the expenses, but all of us. Why? Now, would I tell you to get a treadmill like a Woodway that costs 20,000 just one? Yes, but to get a good treadmill now? Because now, if you have a class and 4 people use it a day, you need a good treadmill. You can't go below 4 or 5. If it breaks down, we'll have to start over now. If it fails on the treadmill, we'll be in trouble, causing issues for your business and the class.
So you'll be able to have people. Exactly. So let me get this straight. You're opening the first space. This space is empty. Empty.
What was this space? Nothing? Yes, for some groups.
You were just doing group sessions?
I had divided it and made a section that was a bit, I had put some small instruments and an outdoor section that had some small groups. Could you do anything else? I also had it open for a few hours.
Now I'm going to ask you, how did you meet Michalis?
Well, when I first started the gym, I was having coffee with a friend and he says to me, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to take over the gym. I'm going to start it. He tells me, I know a guy from Kira, ma'am, this one. What was he saying? What was he saying? Should you talk to him? I talked to him, but I hadn't spoken to him in person yet. I hadn't seen him up close, just talked on the phone. That guy was saying, call me, call me. One thing he said made me feel good. He helped me quickly with the payment, but I hadn't met Michalis face to face. We talked once. Okay. The year before last now, here inside during the winter, after I had made the decision to do all this, I go to a friend of mine whose name is Yanis Bena, who has ASMIT, with whom we did the degree. And I tell him, I'm going to bring containers from China. I found them. I had gone to some factories, something like that. Am I going to bring containers? Am I going to bring containers? Am I going to send them to the gym by myself? I'll do it myself, man. He tells me, wait. He asks if he should call his friend Michalis, who owns Gear Up. Michalis helps him. They've spoken. I call him. He tells me, I have here Orfeas from Mykonos. He says he'll bring containers, not by himself. He says, okay, I'll set up a meeting. Honestly, from the first moment I met him, we had a good vibe from the start, and he tells me, and we found a nice formula to work on it together. We developed the piece further, even with Suede, and he has helped me a lot, and I thank him. I mean, he has never said no to me. The understanding is... And that's how it started. I also met Katya, his wife. They came to Mykonos. We also spent more time together. Michalis is a really good guy, and that's how I met him.
What did he tell you? Was it definitely in China?
Look. You can definitely do it. Now, with the tariffs and customs, things have changed this year, and they will change even more. The cost will be higher. It goes up every year. No, only what Michalis told me, which is true. I would have brought the container, but did you test it somewhere? I think I went to a factory, I saw them, but still, you're never completely sure. And if something happens, I've heard they do a lot. Let's drop the production talk. I didn't bring the container, and if this machine needed to go to Trogalia, what would I send? I'll bring someone and improvise. Try finding it in China now. Should I call and have them send it again? Good morning. It's not that easy. This part is difficult too, especially since 2 more are coming soon with Michalis. How many instruments? And does it have this one?
How? Did you see any other machines?
Because we know of others too. Obviously, I saw and contacted other companies and got other offers. It's just that yours is the cheapest. And now I'm saying, since I had gone, it's like I'm telling you, with this budget, twice as much stuff.
That much?
Meaning, yeah, I said I'll get double the things and let's go. But then, after I talked a bit more with Michalis and he told me a couple of things and he realized, and I realized too, that he could trust me in this area. It's not just about the payments, but also about the EPI. That he sees I'm doing something entrepreneurial, that I enjoy it, that I'm trying to upgrade the experience in general, both for the trainee and for myself overall. Assume that whatever you do, you should want to be your own first customer. That's most important to me. Whether it's food, whether it's a gym, or anything else. You should want to be the first to come to your own place and say, look, this is a nice place, I want to go eat there. If you like it but don't want to enter your own place, you'll say it's falling apart, like I do.
I've also heard that you don't need to do what you like as long as you enjoy it and it makes you happy.
No, you will have a much more pleasant and better life if you do what you like.
Yes.
Now, can you not do what you like? Yes, you can choose not to do that, business and all that. You may dislike your work, but it could bring big profits and provide everything else. And that makes sense.
Sure. What you're saying is that the gym you go to, you want to really enjoy it, right? Like, even the locker rooms should all be perfect. I would like that. I would go in.
I would do it the way I would like to see it, in Mykonos, with how things are now, even with the difficulties and everything.
It's like luxury.
Yes, it's a bit more boutique, I would say. As much as possible. Compared to the competition, in Mykonos, we don't really have facilities because, as I said, the expenses are huge. And also, the periods they work are short. You work. In the winter, business is much slower. It's only 3 or 4 months. At most 5 months for those who can, including specialists, staff, workers, tourists, locals, count them all. The other 6 or 7 months are dead.
I want you to tell me where you had the most difficulty when opening the gym.
Where did I have the most difficulty with the space?
You mean with the space, like the locker rooms? I don't know what problems the space has.
Well, if I start, the place I took over was, did you see? Was it lost? Was it? The place had been abandoned for years. It used to be a kindergarten, though I can't remember exactly. When I took over, everything was rotten. So I had to do everything myself, electrical, plumbing, everything, from scratch.
It cost you so much that...
You told me, yes, it was a good spot. Is it a good central location? Well, I liked it because it also had a lot of outdoor space. Always. I want to, especially in the summer, I wanted my participation because I could find other buildings or get other gyms that were, you know, underground. This one was bigger, but for me, I just couldn't train in basements. I was in Mykonos this summer. I wanted something that would be open, you know, so you could feel that Mykonos vibe. A bit of that outdoor island summer feeling. And I liked this spot, plus it was recommended by someone I knew.
Tell me, when you got into entrepreneurship, opening a gym, did you expect to have so many expenses?
And in general, I definitely had a bit of ignorance of risk. Yes, I mean, at first you make a business plan, you lay things out and say, these are the costs, this and that, that's how much it is. And even though I had a friend who helped me a bit with the planning back then and told me to add a little extra, I did add more, but even what I added wasn't enough, it just wasn't. So yes, definitely, construction-wise, it was quite a hassle for me because I had to do everything from scratch. So that's where the money went. It didn't go to the equipment. No, not at all. It only went to the equipment. Not at all. It only went to the equipment. And then, as for equipment, I was adding things little by little until I even set up the second space to accommodate more people so I could run small groups. And I think it was a very good move because that way both spaces opened up. And I believe both the trainees and our clients are more satisfied now. And especially in the small groups, there is now they go in, there are 3 rooms, nobody sees them. Whereas in the gym, there was besides that, they might have been doing open gym there where things were a bit open. So it definitely improved the experience and the service a lot. I worked with them from the beginning as their first supplier. I set up the gear. Did you install machines? Stuff like that. Yes, the 21, 22 when I opened the gym. So you install machines. I installed some I mentioned and some others. Outside, it was a bit better in terms of ventilation, air, floors, and so on, external weights, some equipment inside. And last year, I added 2 or 3 more every year until last year when, because what I told you was very important, to make the space only for open gym. It wasn't possible to do both in one, in that amount of space. And that's how it happened. It was a step up. The collaboration with Michalis that we did together, the sweat, which we do together, which we have together, we run it together as an operation. And we built the gym again from scratch. In terms of equipment, we added 10 more machines, new floors, and now we're going to add even more. Yes, so let me understand. You started out in business with a gym and then got into the restaurant business? Yes, the restaurant came later. Watermelon is his third store. Now with summer coming, this started again and it was really very last minute. I mean, it was already May. Ready for summer to start. A friend of mine who had a shop back then, before I opened Watermelon, a cafe, told me he was going to give it up. He said, I can't keep coming down to Mykonos. I can't do that. Well, it's not like I was already established or had everything. I had just opened the gym for a year or two. It's not like I had made a fortune and spread my wings. Have you broken even though? I have broken even, but I'm still, you know what I mean? Was it a quick return on investment? Pretty much. I had to make it a habit because to achieve what I wanted, I had to gradually add to it to build it up. So whatever I earned, I put it straight back into the gym. Man, how annoying is that though? Seriously, dude, do I have it? It's the one that stands out from everyone. But every time I did it, and every year I said, this time I won't get a lot of things, but every year, I don't know, something happens. I get this little urge, I want to add more whenever I can, of course. So I wasn't in a situation where if I didn't go, I would get it because I'd have to buy the place from the owner, there was no contract, etc. I talked it over a bit with my family, with my mother, and with my best friend from school. I don't remember when I explained it a bit as a project because I told you there was a gap in that area and I wanted a place to drink, to eat during the day. Was I able to go have a healthy breakfast, a meal after my workout, to drink a protein shake, something to have something in between? I've seen places like that in Bali when I travel there. I didn't see as many places or what was happening in Mykonos. We didn't have that then. Now there are quite a few, but when I opened it, there weren't many. Not even in Mykonos, I'm speaking nationwide. So we decide, we say, let's go, we put in the money little by little. I take it, end of May, June 15th, it has started, different name, kitchens, wait, did you get Watermelon? I got it as a different place, a shop. We thought of the name, me and my then girlfriend, you know, she had the idea, let's give it the name. I wanted something because I call the gym on from the... It has two meanings, even in English. The on, that means active, and yes, yes, and the on with omega, which is on, the absolute, as we say. We combined it that way because I wanted a name with on. That's also why there's a watermelon outside. I wanted it to be a bit smart, and that's how this project started, thank God. I'll tell you about the first year. I wanted to see for myself, Tileti. It was my first experience and you made a big impression on me. It was during the season, so you needed to start building it up earlier. I kind of jumped right in June. Yeah, it went well, but it was still my first real involvement with catering up close. I mean, I grew up in restaurants with my mother. I have that, but it wasn't the first time I was an entrepreneur and had a more active role in some things. Are you bringing out, you know what?
Are you reminding me?
For what? Tell me.
Do you recall knowing Tristan Tate?
Yes, I know. Yes, I look a bit like him. You mean in appearance? They've told me that before. One more time. Yes, yes, I've been told that before. One more time. Yes, I think you were enemies. Now? Yeah, okay.
Thanks. And this in the same style?
Yeah. So you do
Uh,
watercolor. Yes. And I found that the shop was empty, I'll tell you, because in the first year I understood what I did right and what I did wrong. And I believe that the second year showed more of the shop's potential. And I believe that the second year showed more than just yes. There are more day-to-day responsibilities, and I have tremendous help from also from the kitchen side. I'm very lucky because I've had a partnership for many years with the chef who's in the family business at Nautilos, who is also a partner at Waterman Libby as a partner. And he brought his brother, who is a fantastic guy, and helped this guy in general. We're always looking for ways to improve. And when you have to make recipes without sugar, protein-based things and so on, you know that there are more ingredients. And the preparations are much more difficult. It's not like we take something baked or ready-made and just use it. Everything is handmade. Bread, gluten-free, sugar-free, protein-based things. Nothing is fried. It's not easy, especially now that you can't find staff. It's a problem. You need more hands for this?
I was going to mention that, but let's discuss it later.
Let's talk about it now since the conversation brought it up.
I've seen that we do. There are agencies that have been bringing people from third countries for years. It's been years.
Have I ever told you that I have experience with this?
To say that I will bring Indians?
I haven't been involved in that myself. They come to Mykonos on their own. You could say we have big flows from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and so on.
It's hard for Greeks to get in.
The dishwashing job? No, it doesn't exist for them. Just forget it.
That kind of money is great for them.
This kind of thing doesn't exist. So now, all these manual labor jobs, can you even find anyone for them now? No, you won't find anyone now. It's very hard. Maybe some immigrants, but definitely not Greeks, especially young Greeks. We've gotten used to an easier life. It's not Greek anymore. Is the phenomenon global? Yes, which is why Northern Europe has labor shortages and migration flows, and why we want them here too. It's a global phenomenon that I believe will trouble Europe for a long time. And that's another part of the demand, but it's a part that will make things very difficult for Europe. Yes, not so much unemployment, but rather there is such a need to fill positions which obviously the locals are no longer willing to do. No Greek will go to work as a dishwasher, no Greek will go to be a dishwasher, no German will go to work as a dishwasher. Who will go? The one who needs it. So let's not complain, that's what I want to say.
You just need to be more involved in the day-to-day.
More day-to-day, thank God. And I'm grateful that the kitchen side, helps a lot with this part because it's very important for the kitchen to care. And your shop too, otherwise you'll have food waste and other issues. That's why I'm telling you. Day-to-day orders aren't like running a gym. It's a different kind of service where you just go and do your workout. Of course, it should always be clean and there should be professionalism in the place because, okay, now in Mykonos, if you're going to ask for a higher membership fee, shouldn't you also offer an extra service? What I look for in a gym is at least one trainer with knowledge and experience for anything you might need. It's not just about going to the gym and that's it. Does that help?
They are close to each other.
They are very close. So did you do the whole thing? Yes, I did the whole thing at one point. That's why I did it. It's the gym. For example, here after 1 kilometer is the watermelon and after 500 meters is the studio. So everything is in a straight line. Yes, ideally I would like to have everything in one place like that. But I told you that in the areas of Mykonos and so on, it's too much. Maybe it can't be done. So whatever is close definitely helps. Take your car or scooter and you're next door in a minute.
Are you working on any other business projects you can share?
Yeah, I am. I've been involved in the alcohol business for the last 4 years with an American company. How did that happen? Well, first of all, I generally drink tequila. My drink of choice is tequila. And I have a friend from America for many years. We used to work together in Mykonos when he would come and I would help him with his vacations and so on. He had a project and created his own tequila brand. So I knew about the brand before the idea was even born from here and there. And when he actually made it, it's called Chrome Force, the brand. It's new. I said, let's do it and I'll help too. I can help in Mykonos because I also worked at night. I had the connections. And to be honest, I know the scene. I'm from Mykonos, it's my hometown. So more or less, what did you do? I helped them. Even now, I did all the importing and the distribution.
Do you have a place maybe over there?
No, we have one of the central warehouses that we have in Mykonos, but all morning it comes to Mexico, so I still come and help with the distribution and with marketing.
They call it B2B, don't you go after customers?
No, but I did this more as a website and because I liked it and generally the industry as well. To tell you the truth, This is going well. In general, I want to tell you that alcohol is a very tough market from my experience, as much as it is. The competition is really big with the big brands, and as a small company, it's hard to. And in general, it's a time when you see that alcohol consumption is declining. People aren't drinking as much as they used to, which might not be a good thing. I'm not saying they should go drink. It might definitely be better, but for sure, for people our age, people in their 20s and 25 like you are now, back then we would go to the bar, we would drink, we would go 3 times a week. I'm not saying I approve of it, that's just how it was. The vibe has completely changed now. Now there are breathalyzers in Athens. They've caused a lot of trouble and fines. Our attitude towards driving in general and with alcohol is unacceptable. And even though we might complain, we definitely need to be much more careful. Because I've done it too, and we've all done it. Okay, not all of us, but you get it. We need to be sure. It's a difficult task. It needs a big budget for advertising. It needs a big budget for collaborations. Because when someone tells you about a small brand from here or there, others are offering me things. I won't mention companies. Now I'm opening a store and they come with a portfolio and offer me 30 or 40,000 to buy from them. It's crazy, really crazy. How can you compete with that? How much personal connection can you add? How do you balance it? I liked it as an experience, but I don't think it's something I'll do forever. It was just a side thing and a bit of help. Now I'm looking at another shop that I might open, which is again related to food service, again with food. I'll just say that what's holding me back a bit is that I'm following global developments a bit more than I would otherwise. I mean, if all these things weren't happening, if I could, I would have already fixed the global insecurity. I've just hit pause on that part to see how things will develop. Can I delay it for a year to see how it goes? But you know.
Do you notice it? That as soon as you get into entrepreneurship, you start your first business, and then it's like a pattern, right? I mean, are you going to start another one now? Yes.
And definitely more. I got the bug, and then yes, because I liked it, that I was productive, I liked it. No. Why do you see it that way? It's not just the need for money or to grow as an entrepreneur and the money. I don't see it that way only because, to tell you the truth, I'm a bit more romantic about this part, that it's not just about the money. The more money you have, the easier you make your life and you don't have problems and you have less stress. That's the main goal. I'm not hiding that I work just for my soul, but for sure, I also like being productive. I like keeping myself busy. I like being very busy. I like that people depend on me. Bo, I take on this responsibility and I accept it gladly. You understand? It's not that it stresses me out. I'm also considering doing something outside Greece. That's my main idea, and I've been spending a lot of time on it lately. Also, in America, every time I went 2 or 3 times a year. I've fallen in love with Bali in general, as a lifestyle and as a way of life, as a quality of life. So after the summer, I want to do something there and have it for a while.
When are you going?
I have to go in the winter. I go after November. This year I went for 2.5 months. I'd gone for a month. Last year I really liked it, but there wasn't enough time. I said this year I would go and really experience it, and I liked it a lot. I liked the way of life, and I liked the quality of life it has. Yeah, it's more relaxed. Yeah, it's more relaxed. It's summer. It's summer. There's something about it. There are a few little rains. Honestly, in the winter it's the rainy season, but it's also infrastructure. Especially for me, since now fitness is a part of my life. Do you still have my vacations? I'll check if we can get them. When I go to a hotel, I'll see if there's a gym. You'll be working out here by yourself. The truth is, when I'm on vacation, I like it more because I'm relaxed. I mean, I'll go in the morning to do my workout. Then I'll go have my breakfast, and that's my whole day. As I said, I love food, so after working out, I feel less guilty and have fewer regrets about eating. So I'm telling you, okay, I want to do some food tasting too. You have to try a bit of everything. And how is the food? The food is at a very high level, I would say. There isn't that much local food like you would say it's Balinese. The Balinese cuisine is something crazy. There are just so many options and choices. Even international brands from Australia, since it's nearby, started that way. There's a little bit, but the food quality is amazing.
Other Greek entrepreneurs are there.
Entrepreneurs, Greeks. There's a gentleman whom I don't know personally, I don't remember his name, who makes some videos on Instagram about entrepreneurship, and that's it. There are Greek groups, but in general, there aren't many Greeks. Yes, I mean, besides my friends who formed our core group.
Because you said you might start a business there?
Yes, but Greeks. But so many people have moved there from Europe and from America and from Australia in general, because there is a sense of safety. The cost of living is lower than in Europe, and now the quality of life is much better. You can have a nice house, you have good weather.
What I've noticed is that when you go to another country, people really like to do something Greek, for example, to bring something Greek, to bring something from the country.
Yes, definitely. And that was a bit, that's how it is in the world as an entrepreneur, to bring a few things. And in general, Greek food also has a hype abroad now, meaning there are many more Greek restaurants and high-end ones than there used to be. In the past, we only had Italian and Chinese. Now we have everything, and Greek food has also gotten its own hype, and rightfully so. Yes.
See the details for yourself, since you do your best in business.
That's the plan, the main one, and that's the plan. Since I like it over there and I like the lifestyle, why shouldn't I do something? Where? What schools do I have when I'm there? And if it brings me some extra income? Also, Bali isn't seasonal. It runs 12 months a year.
The tough part is learning everything, like taxes. You get it, right?
It's a process you have to go through, but it is. I'd say maybe it's even easier to open a business in Bali. Answer: in Greece? Nowadays? Yes.
Now here, you're in the hardest part of business hard.
Here, it's been voted the most difficult, the country with the hardest business operations worldwide. I'm not the one saying this.
So wherever else you go,
imagine what it takes. It definitely requires a lot of effort, but also letting go. School has been tough, but it will get easier, even at a bigger school, especially in subjects like math or business.
Would you do something?
Would I do something? Some people definitely would, but for some it's much harder to get into this matter. It's the paperwork. With a visa?
The visa.
Especially now with the situation with Mr. Donald, it's more...
Your friend can't get you in, it's not very...
It's very difficult now, even you can't get in. Even for me, it's very hard to get in. He has to either invite me or something, or show that I can do something no one else can do. In America, it will be very difficult for you. Yes, for example, if I'm telling you now, if there's a Greek theater, do you have to invite me so I can get a business visa? Like, I'm bringing this person for work because I can't find someone equivalent. In America, things are difficult. Maybe some years it was easier. It's a shame, man. Now it's harder. All right. Every era has its own. Every nation has its own. Now in America, there is a general crisis with immigration and in general, and there is a certain policy, well, okay, I could leave for 2 or 3 months, return, and then leave again for another few months. Because later, to get to the level of getting a business visa through investment, the amounts are astronomical. To get a golden visa, it's millions and more. I don't remember exactly, but in Greece, the golden visa has gone up to 800,000 euros in some areas. I imagine how it is in America. But America, no matter how much I imagine it, I always had it in high regard and as a dream to go to America. Every time I go, I want to say that I come back with a little less pleasure than when I went the first time. That here is nice. It's something like that, but it's not what it used to be. The costs had gone up a lot. Hasn't everything lost that sense of security it used to have? Not always. You never really feel safe in America, but some parts of America, like Los Angeles, for example. Now, it's not a place I want to go as much as I used to. Things have changed.
How many states have you been to?
Have I been? California, Los Angeles, San Francisco. I've been to Montana, to Yellowstone, to the park I went to recently, which was in New York, Florida, Miami.
Do you do all these, let's say, in one go?
No, I've been to America. I go 2 or 3 times a year.
When do you go? Yes.
Yes, I even went during COVID to Miami in Florida. I spent 2 months there because it was the only state that didn't have any COVID restrictions, no masks, nothing. And I stayed for 2 months.
There it's full on. Otherwise, every state you want, something different? It is.
Very different. The vibe, it depends. Okay, Miami is more Latin. a bit more Spanish speaking. It's a bit, you have that Miami Beach vibe in the camera. Still, I definitely like it.
Would you stay in America?
Well, again, it depends on the situation and why. At what age would you catch me? Now, if you had met me between 20 and 30, I would have told you that I would stay. Las Vegas? No, not Las Vegas. You don't stay in Las Vegas. You go for 2 days and then you leave. Yeah, you definitely don't stay in Las Vegas because now you see how it is. How can I put it? Now, there are always people coming and going, gambling, doing things. It's always in party mode. You don't stay there now, at least I wouldn't stay.
It's like Mykonos, but not Mykonos.
But yeah, now there are a lot of people and there are also redneck Americans. You see everything now, really everything. We're talking about a lot of gambling. And not just that, gambling is everywhere, but it's nice. I've gone for a long weekend, like 2 or 3 days, and I've had an amazing time lately. I went recently for the Formula event they have there, but it's not a place for me to stay long term. Well, where would I stay now? California, for me, in terms of beauty and vibe, I like California the most out of all, and I really liked San Diego a lot. Like very, very calm though, Fasifa, beach, gyms and stuff like that. But if I had to live somewhere now, I think I would stay in Florida. It's better, especially with how things are in Miami right now. Because it's a bit like that. It's a little closer to my vibe. If you had asked me 10 years ago or 7 or 8, I would have told you Los Angeles, California, Malibu or something like that.
When I was younger, you know?
Yeah.
So, do you want to talk about your future plans now, huh? Or have you already mentioned them, basically? I told you.
Did I mention some things? I definitely want us to do some things or something before the season starts. We always add things, and now winter has passed. And now, I mean, we won't all do it in the renovation, but again, we'll add things, I mean, in the gym. I'm also considering bringing more things at Watermelon. Also, I did another major renovation, expanded the kitchen a bit and so on, to add something extra there that I wanted in the day-to-day. And also, in what we can produce, it's also very important what kind of infrastructure you have and so on. So I saw that it has reached a ceiling and can't go any higher, especially in some areas. So some changes need to be made to help the production side. But basically, if I want to start a new business, like I told you, which I have in my mind, the most important thing is for the business to be abroad. Again, I think that if I wanted to set a #1 goal, which I also have in Mykonos, I mean a new project, and along with the existing ones, we always add some things before the season so that we are ready when it comes. I want my next step, I'll say the big one, if I wanted to close out 26 with an epilogue. I would like to do something that is so current.
Let's say for it to happen this year.
Yes, I have it. I mean, I'll leave when the season ends in October to get things settled. Yes, you have it nicely, okay? If I told you that my ultimate goal would be this, now I will do it. Will 26 be 27? I want it to be included. It will be close. I mean, I'm kind of in the heat of the moment. That's when the iron sticks. I'm at a point where if something doesn't click for me, it just won't work.
To do it?
No, let's do it because I believe in energy too. That now is the time. You feel it. I feel it inside me. Let's go.
You shouldn't regret not doing this. That's what I'm saying.
I'm saying this in general too because I've realized it and I've said it many times in my life. It's better to regret something you did than something you didn't do, right? And it has definitely guided me many times. You have to dare to do it. In general, I believe in Coca-Cola, in young people, and anyone who's watching us. I mean, I don't know, they say it in business too. They say do it, just do it and see what happens. Is it a financial risk or is it an emotional risk? When you say take the risk, do you mean that? Did I fail? If you don't do it and later say, oh, I had it in my mind, then you'll always wonder, what if I had done it? And that's it, it's over.
Please share a message with our viewers, kids, young people, and especially entrepreneurs who are watching. Surely there are entrepreneurs among them, right?
Look, you never know. Look, for sure, what I told you before, that whatever thoughts you have, whatever goals you've set, whatever you think can help you, don't let anything hold you back. I mean, this whole life is very short for all of us. We have come here, and I want to believe that it's to make this life as interesting and as good as we can. Take risks, enjoy everything as it is, and don't worry about having a goal. Also, I see other people who are very focused on making money, doing this, doing that, and they lose the essence after that. Well, look at them, set your goals, look far ahead, but at the same time, live as well. Live each day, say that every day I did something better. Start the day with, did I tell you to be miserable? Obviously not. Start the day with a bit of enthusiasm that today I will do this, be more. Maybe the day didn't go your way, let's go for the next one. Especially in these years, because these years now, from 20 to 30, 35, 40, it's a shame for them to be wasted like that. In your thoughts and your goals, you definitely need the right mindset. You need to set some goals, but at the same time, live that YOLO life, as we say, but with solutions within a framework. Yes, if I could say something.
This is an issue in general, and
in our particular generation, I say this because I see it. Look, for sure, the environment doesn't help. I mean, money, finances, the state as Greece. You can find problems everywhere, for sure. The point is how you deal with them. I understand that someone might say to me now, if they're watching, you're telling me this now because you're from Mykonos and you've started your own business. Yes, but I didn't just get it. It didn't just happen one day that I said I would open a gym or that the money just came to me. I worked for it. So in conclusion, I'll tell you that it's up to you.
so a piece of advice you would give to your younger self, let's say, think of yourself at 18 years old.
18 years old. Would you tell him to slow down a bit? I would tell him, but I'll tell you that I haven't regretted anything, and I would. If I went even further back, I wouldn't change many things, because those things led me here, right? Whether they were negative experiences, positive ones, arguments, women, or university. They're all experiences that you need to gather and store properly so they can help you in the future. Yes, I think that's it. Mostly about experiences. Bon poli.
Mistress Martha, let's go to some audience questions.
Shall we see what you'll say?
Shall I start?
Yes, of course.
What is your relationship with Koklonis? Koklonis?
I met Nikos in Mykonos. I met him, we trained together for quite some time. I trained him mainly during the summer. When he used to come, he still comes. I have a very good relationship with him. We don't train together anymore. We talked about a month ago. In general, I hold him in high regard. He has helped a lot of people. And we still maintain a friendly relationship even now. Not as close as we were before. But he also has 100 things to do now, and so do I. So now we see each other a bit less often than before.
So back then you were alone in 2019.
2018, somewhere around there. Nikos is a very pleasant guy. I have only good things to say about him, really great. Shall we move on to the next one? Yes, let's go.
Tell us, which girl has disappointed you the most in your life?
That's a good question. Which girl has let me down the most in my life? I won't say a name, obviously. I've had quite a few relationships in my life. I would tell you that I wouldn't call myself, we wouldn't be a gift. I put gift relationships, but I had a long relationship, 5 years during university and afterwards. Well, I would tell you that it always went. I went, but I would say that I had 2 disappointments. One was my longest relationship, the one that changed me, like I told you before. But in a way, I consider it a good thing. How did it happen, and how did life turn out after that? So I would say the one that was my longest relationship. But do you agree? That? Yes, but I'm really good in that area now. And in general, I don't hold on to anything bad. Even with that person, things have moved on. We talk now and have a good relationship. I still say the usual things to you.
Many men, most of them go through this, isn't that right?
Look, every man has to handle it in his own way, but for me, a big disappointment can lead you to other things as well. If you get a bit stubborn and say, okay, and generally, if someone doesn't want you, whether it's a woman or a man, there's no reason to get attached and keep it with you for the rest of your life. Life goes on. Whoever wants to be with you wants to be. Thank you.
It says here, can you take off your shirt? Like this, he says. Now I'll write them down.
I have quite a few. Photos they can see? I don't see anything like that, but should I put the one they might be able to see? Hey, see? I have a lot of highlights from Palace that it was really fun, right? Yeah, I'm moving on. Yeah.
What's the wildest thing you've experienced in nightlife? The wildest?
In Mykonos. I think if I have to say one, it was then.
With the law?
Personally, like this, was it definitely the one with the law? It was definitely something personal, but when this, like the most dramatic experience, because it is, and at some point it happened. It was also a night like that. I mean, when I had finished work, I went to a friend of mine who was at his shop to have one last drink before I went for the second shift. And suddenly, I found myself with 5 or 6. We saw them attacking me for no reason, just because I was older. I have experienced another incident with a friend of mine who must be. He has worked at the shop for years and still does. Back at the old rock and roll place in Mykonos, it was wild, and there was an incident with an Asakavas. Now before there were about 10 people playing, now there were beasts, now all 10, and we couldn't handle them at all. I don't know. The shop was near the sea. It was amazing. It was close to the shore where a friend of mine now works. I won't say his name. They threw him into the sea, but he was huge. And my friend threw him. He threw him into the sea. He actually picked him up and threw him into the sea. But as far as I know, he threw him about 10 meters. But I've seen scenes in Mykonos. It used to happen a lot back in the day. It happened at Space and Cavo Paradiso. I'm telling you. Have you ever seen people fighting in a big pile? There was a guy, I think he must have gotten hit. Maybe he died. He was Australian. There were a lot of incidents back then, those kinds of things. Now things are much better. Back then was a different time. I was around 20, maybe younger. Things happened daily, something at a club, something on the beach. It was non-stop. I've seen a guy take off his cast, pull his hand out of the cast and hit someone with the cast right here.
He says, which celebrities have you met in Greece? All right.
Many. I've trained with Hugh Jackman. Amazing guy.
Now, will you deny the rumors?
Yeah, with them.
With a soccer player?
With Kylian Mbappe, I went on vacation to Morocco with a group of friends and Verratti. Verratti.
Did you hang out together?
Did we have mutual friends? Was it during COVID? We all went on a trip together. Amazing experience. How was it?
You can. Do you know any millionaires like that?
Gillian is more reserved, I would say. He was also more bitter. Back then he was 19, 20. Marco, the one we're talking about, Verratti, he's Italian. He's closer to my age. He's a streetwise guy. He was cool. From Pusican, I had been with all the singers. We had also trained, and we did it with Ashley and with. I've met quite a few.
They have something different in general.
I would tell you that they don't have anything different. They're quite pleasant, and the big difference is that he stayed with our own people. I would tell you here, celebrities, the famous people, that they don't have any of that arrogance nor any of that the toupee attitude. And they are much more relaxed and much more polite. And that this will really impress you. I've seen Cristiano Ronaldo up close. I've never seen anyone, to tell you the truth. Well, yes, Naomi Campbell. Maybe I would say she's the most negative person I've ever seen. But the big difference that really impressed me is that now I see others, who have, I don't know, a channel or something like that, and they expect and they have an attitude and a kind of arrogance that there's something special and others aren't. Did you know Brad Pitt visited again, and he's the most relaxed person here?
Okay, it's a bit about personality, huh?
And it's also a bit about their mentality, a bit about their philosophy, that they're, a bit cooler. I think we take it a bit more seriously, while the Greeks, are a bit more confident.
Have you seen it?
I'm not lumping everyone together, you know what I mean?
If you've ever worked with a celebrity, has anyone ever told you or made you an offer?
I've worked professionally because of my job, because I'm a personal trainer, because of fitness. With Hugh Jackman, yes, with the ones I mentioned before, and with some other athletes as well. With Traore, who now plays for Wolves, that guy, let me tell you a story about him, and it will happen. Recently he came to the gym, and it was my first year at the gym, and he had come along with Ruzizu and two other teammates. The guy is now, he's even more, he's grown even more. He got on the treadmill to do sprints. And I said, at first, I didn't understand why we didn't become some kind of coaches. We talked together to do, I don't know, to make a program. And he gets on the treadmill. And what I saw, I couldn't believe it, how the treadmill was going, how it sounded. I said, it's going to fall apart in front of me. He's hitting 40 kilometers per hour. It shouldn't go that fast. And he's also massive.
He's like a rugby player.
He's massive. I'm telling you, when he gets close, he's short, but he's solid and doesn't carry any fat, nothing, just muscle, nothing else.
Is this in the interview?
Yes, it's really amazing.
Orfeas, thank you very much.
I thank you too, and I'm really waiting for you. Mykonos now? Yes, that's the next one on the list. I've never been. Well, you have to see it now. I think this interview and the channel will be the opportunity. Now in the summer, it's all over the iPads. You have to see it now. Gym, stories, we need to get the mic and go live it.
So now I'll leave your Instagram below, and whoever wants to get in touch.
Of course, yes. And the gyms too, and the details, etc.
Many young people want to come and maybe talk. I don't know if you have spots.
The truth is, right now, I'm the last one. It closed yesterday, so the spot closed yesterday for the gym, I mean, but it's never really closed. Yes.
Will there be TEFA students to see? Look, this.
Look, I would tell you the 3 things that I look at after I get to know a person is to see if they have goals and obviously the desire to have an experience. It's not necessary for them to have finished. Tefa, what does he think about it? Until now, all my trainees, teachers, physical education teachers are graduates of Tefa. Why? Because I am one too. I definitely have it as such, but I don't have it as a prerequisite. That's why. It could be a kid who really went to a private school and loves it and has passed and has invested time studying and exercise. And what if they're amazing and a good kid too?
Do you want it to be communication and for it to be about communication?
And for them to be a good kid. Because I want to give and not get attached, but I also want to build relationships through my work, and I want to know that I can rely on someone, because especially in my job, I don't consider it easy. I think that the person who does it also enjoys it. I want to see that.
So,
that's it. I was really glad. See you in Mykonos? Yes.
thank you for the video. Goodbye, goodbye.